are going to show you some different budget meals that you can do that's a little bit more expanded on besides the one I did before where it just had mainly pastas and stuff like that in it. I'm going to show you what we call hamburger patties and gravy. This is what my husband calls it. Some people call it hamburger steak. Some people call it onion patties and gravy. So he loves it. I personally am not a gravy fan, so but I make it for him and my boys like it too. So let me go ahead and start. You can put fresh onion in this, or onion powder would probably be better. Or you can get the Lipton soup mix and mix that in. That would be even better. And usually, like at Aldi's, you can get a box of that. Their generic soup mix for like, their onion soup mix for like $1, I think. Maybe a little bit more now. And what you're going to do is you're just going to mix it in here in thawed ground beef. And this is the cheapest cut ground beef. This is the economy. I know a lot of people frown upon that, but you know, nowadays it's getting harder and harder to buy groceries. As you mix that in together, usually that pretty much seals your salt pepper thing, so you don't have to add salt and pepper unless you just want to. That is a little bit on the salty end for me, so I typically don't do that. Okay, and then all you do is make hamburger patties. And now I'm going to do these thin like this, but you don't have to. You can make them really big into hamburger steaks. But if you're trying to feed many people, like large families, you're going to have a little bit smaller patties. So and we're going to move on to the next thing that we are making to go with this. The next thing that we're going to make to go with it, it's super cheap. Just grab you some potatoes. It doesn't matter what type. It doesn't matter if it's the red skinned, brown skin. It doesn't matter. Bacon potatoes, it doesn't matter. Just grab the cheapest because you're eating on a budget and peel those and boil them, and we're going to make mashed potatoes. So I have cooked all of my burgers. I got them ready. I went ahead and drained the grease off. So I'm going to put all the burgers back in. And all you're doing now at this point is going to get the gravy heated up over all of them. You can use any gravy. This is a brown, I think, well, you'll see when if you've never bought the prepared gravies before, there's chicken, there's turkey, there's beef, and then there's brown gravy. I guess the beef gravy's got beef stock and the brown gravy doesn't, but I'm not real sure what it has in it. Any of those work. It'd be best if it's like a brown, because this is very similar to like Salisbury steak. But I have used whatever I had on hand and it still did great. So, and the gravies that I buy is like the little canned ones, not jarred, canned from Walmart. And they're really cheap. This is what it looks like. And all you'll do is heat this until, you know, it's heated through. And we're going to move on to the mashed potatoes. Okay, so our potatoes are done. I usually get them like fork tender. I've already got the butter in there. Now my daughter and my son, one of my sons, is allergic to milk, and when they're going to eat these, I use chicken broth. And you can do that all the time if you wanted to. But today I'm just going to do milk and salt and pepper. I'll go ahead and pour some milk in. this is it. This is like a really cheap meal, and I will show you everything put together. Hang on. Okay, y'all, this is your dinner plated up. Really, really easy budget meal. Less than $5 for this whole plate full of food. Probably less than $3. Doesn't cost much at all, and it's full of flavor. So let's move on to our next budget meal. I'm getting ready for the next what's for dinner, and I'm making dirty rice. So, getting this started. I wanted to tell you, I'm going to use a box mix. This is it right here. It's from Aldi's. You can probably use anything. I've used others before, so. But instead of using, I'm doing 3 boxes for our family. Instead of using just one pound of ground beef per each box, I'm going to just do, this is about 1.5 pounds to try to cut back on costs. It's a good way to eat on a budget. Just cut back on your meat when a recipe calls for it. Okay, y'all, so I've already cooked our ground beef. I've drained it and set it aside, and now we're boiling water for the dirty rice. You just need to follow the instructions on the box. And we'll have to keep watching it and make sure that it doesn't stick or anything. And go ahead and take your cooked ground beef and add to the pan. That way some of those seasonings can kind of infuse into the meat. Okay, I'll see you back here in a few. Comes together real fast, and like I said, it'd be a really good budget meal. You can also add some drained diced tomatoes, canned ones, and or you can pick some sort of vegetable like peas and carrots, or just peas, and add that, and that would be good too. Hey y'all, today we're going to make a corn dog casserole, and I'm going to double my recipe, but I'm going to not double some of the ingredients because I feel like it's too excessive. So you can follow the recipe, or you can follow me, doesn't matter. But I'm going to go ahead and cook it. Show you how to fix it my way. This is 2 packages of Jiffy Mix corn muffin mix. Here is the package. They're real cheap. This is a really good budget meal for y'all, so I decided to put this together, and let's see if it's going to turn out good. Okay, so 2 packages of that because I'm doubling it, like I said, but you don't have to. A can of whole kernel corn, a can of cream style corn, and some melted butter. Cup, because I'm doubling it, of cheddar, and I also used a little bit of cheese that I had just extra laying around and added to that. And you're going to need some mustard powder. Teaspoons of that, I wanted to make sure on that. So this one and 2. Again, that's because I'm doubling it. Y'all don't forget. And we also need to add our sour cream. We'll add all of this. Probably about 12 ounces, give or take, because I don't want to put too much in here. A lot of times you can mess with the recipe, you know, and it still turn out okay. Like, for instance, if you had a cake and next thing you need to add is your hot dogs. And like I said, you have to reserve some of those. I use beef franks because that's the hot dogs that we use. They're not cooked. Your oven has to be preheated to 350. Since I'm doubling this recipe, let me move everything. I'm going to put it in this, and I've already sprayed it with some cooking spray. Take the hot dogs that I have left that I reserved, and I'll cut those up even smaller. Okay, y'all, this is it out of the oven. I've let it sit and cool a little bit. Your center is probably going to be a little soft, but the recipe said that it would be. Just try to do the best you can. Try to get it as done as possible. But it's real easy, real simple, and perfect for your budget.